Good evening and welcome to Be Not Afraid, a Catholic's Perspective. We're going to be joined by a seminarian tonight from Kenya. His name is Crispin Otieno. Did I get that right?
Yes, that's right.
Crispin, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
So what brings you to Gresham now?
I came to Gresham as a simple seminarian to train and to learn from the people of Gresham and to learn from the Archdiocese of Portland that I'll be serving, God willing, in the future. So that's why I'm here.
Good.
Yeah.
And you, like I said, you are from Kenya.
Yes, I'm from Kenya.
And was that where you were born and raised?
Yes, I was born in Kenya, close to Lake Victoria.
Okay.
That is towards the border with Uganda. I grew up there and did my middle school and secondary school right there. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And how is you hear a lot of the, horror stories, I call them horror stories, of the conditions in Africa. How are the conditions where
I grew up?
Where you grew up?
So Kenya basically is one of, not so rich, but we can say it's not a poor country. People in Kenya are not, they're not poor as many may have maybe thought or maybe as is seen, because we have the northern part of Kenya and the southern part of Kenya. Now the northern part of Kenya is a desert, right? It's so arid, it's so dry. But then as you come below the equator, going downwards, people are okay, especially the central part, the western part of Kenya, the Rift Valley, and as you go more south, people are doing well because we have the Lake Victoria and people who are living around Lake Victoria. We have fish inside. Like for myself, I grew eating fish all along. So, and then we are also farmers, and it rains a lot most of the times of the year. It rains like for 4 months, and then we have sun. So it's a nice place to be, and there's not all that much starvation as it could be in the northern part of Kenya. Yeah.
So it's the climate's a little like us. We get a lot of rain for.
You can't compare that, because I always tell people when coming from the church every morning that Oregon is just so strange. You wake up in the morning and you see some kind of sun around, then later on it rains. So that's not. It's not the same in Kenya, because Kenya, you are always sure that when it is raining, it's raining. When it's a sunny day, it's a sunny day. Like right now, in the month of November, it's raining a lot in Kenya. But we are so sure that in December, it will be all sun up to somewhere in February, and it is really hot,
Okay,
yeah,
so it is a little different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, yeah.
And you don't get snow like we do.
No, that one, you can dream it and die without seeing that, so.
But you're going to get to see some snow this year, it looks like.
Sure. The first time I saw snow was when I was in Rome. Yeah, it was a wonderful experience.
How long were you in Rome?
So I was in Rome from the year 2006.
Okay.
In August the 22nd. So that's when I got to Rome and I began my studies right there. Yeah.
Now you actually, that's a lot of years.
Yes.
And you haven't been ordained as a transient deacon.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Now,
normally you would have been, isn't it?
Sure, yeah, you're right. Now the point is, right now I'm an acolyte, or what could have been in the pre-Vatican II could have been what we call the sub-diaconate. So that's what I am right now. I'm an acolyte, so I can serve as a Eucharistic minister and help at the altar and do all that. Now the reason why I'm not yet a deacon is that I'm coming from an order. So this is a congregation. It's an Italian congregation. It's called Consolata Missionaries, founded in Italy by an Italian, Blessed Joseph Alamano. So that's where I've been having all my formation from the year 2001, which I began in Uganda, then in Kenya, and then in Rome of last. Then after finishing my theology, that is at the Urbaniana Pontifical University, or as they call it in Italian, Università Urbaniana, the famous one, I began reflecting when I was sent to work in a parish in the southern part of Italy that's called Cuore Immacolato di Maria. It's in Lecce, the southern part of Italy.
Okay.
I began reflecting if the Lord was not calling me to serve in a parish setting. So that's why I began having those kind of ideas. And given that life to priesthood is always a discernment, it's not a career. You don't just get in and say, tomorrow I'm going to become a priest and this is it. No,
Right.
It's a discernment every day, every day. And so though I was religious with professed vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, at the end of that year I felt that maybe the Lord is calling me to serve in a parish setting. So that's why I changed just before I was ordained a deacon in that order.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So you are going to be a diocesan priest, or?
Yeah, right now I'm going to be a diocesan priest.
Okay.
Yeah, of the Archdiocese of Portland.
And just to explain a little what we were talking about, a transient. I used to call them transient deacons.
Yeah.
That is one of the last step before you become a priest.
Yes.
And when we were talking about the diocesan priests, those are priests that don't belong to a particular order. They are priests within a diocese. And our diocese here, of course, is the Archdiocese of Portland.
Yeah.
So is it this diocese that you'll serve, or?
Yes, I will serve this archdiocese because I came to the United States in the name of the Archdiocese of Portland.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the Archbishop who invited me here, and I'm here to serve this archdiocese. Yeah.
And when will you become a deacon?
Last month, I had a dialogue with His Excellency, the Archbishop of Portland, and he was telling me that if everything goes well, maybe in spring next year.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you.
So then a year after that, basically, roughly, you could be ordained a priest.
The law says that between 3 to 6 months after a diaconate ordination, a candidate can be ordained a priest.
Oh, okay.
So I do hope, but you see, it doesn't depend all. Okay, halfly depends on me, and halfly depends also on the Archbishop and the vocation director, John Henderson. They'll sit down and see the right time. But I do feel that maybe by next year, towards the end or something. Yeah.
And hopefully it'll be as at St. Henry's.
I'm willing because I love it. I just love St. Henry. I never imagined it could be what I'm now experiencing right now. It's a lovely place to be, lovely people, lovely pastor, lovely staff, lovely Christians. I just love it. In fact, I asked the Archbishop if it is possible for me to serve in this place as a deacon after I'm ordained. And then he just smiled, so I don't know. Who knows? No, we as priests, as deacons, as seminarians, we are supposed to be free to serve in any place where we are sent.
Right. Because
this is what we call the obedience to our Archbishop and obedience to our local church. Yeah.
Now, when both our bishops, our auxiliary bishop and the archbishop, they're about to turn 75.
Yeah.
Our auxiliary bishop, I forget his name.
Bishop Steiner.
Kenneth. I know he's retired from the parish.
Yes.
And he sent paperwork to the Pope.
Yeah.
To retire as an active. He'll always be a bishop.
He will always be a bishop and will always celebrate Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as an active one.
No, yeah.
And then Archbishop Valancy.
Yeah.
will also be 75, but from what I hear, he's probably going to stay on a little longer than 75. It's,
I don't know, because what he told us is that officially he's supposed to retire in February next year, but then we have always conditions that the church gives to any retiring archbishop or bishop. So in his case, he's still waiting. Maybe he may be requested to stay there for some time, like 5-6 months.
right.
Yeah, as they still look for another archbishop to replace him. Or he may retire and become an administrator of the archdiocese,
Oh, okay.
but not as the archbishop. No, there's a difference between administrator and the archbishop, right?
Right.
Or he may as well retire and we get a new archbishop. So this is not my authority to say that, but that's what I know, because we had dinner with him as the seminarians of the archdiocese, and this is what he informed us. So he himself, he doesn't know. So he may stay there for some time, maybe for the next 6 months after his retirement in February, but all this depends with Rome.
Now, if the archbishop says, Crispin, you're ready to be a deacon, or you're ready to be ordained a priest, and then he leaves, do you have to go through the new archbishop also?
Basically, the issue is that the church, the Catholic Church, is very, very organized, right? So everything is in records. So if the archbishop says Crispin is ready for ordination, whether he's there or not, whoever comes in will find the records well set and can just go ahead with what was planned. So this is part of the beauty of our church.
Right.
Yeah, everything is set. If he feels that I should be ordained and everything is okay, then everything will be in the records, and whoever will come in will follow that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, when did you feel that you're being called?
Feeling like being called
to be a priest.
To be a priest. Are you asking how do I view the call to priesthood?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't wake up one day and say, I think I want to be a priest.
No, not like that. Okay, the experience is, I have a wonderful and a long experience. In 1993 is when I can say I first felt that God was calling me to a particular way of life, of living. And I had experience from my grandmother and from my aunt. Both of them were called Isabella. Okay. So because my grandmother was a wonderful lady, in fact for me she's a saint, though not in the Catholic Church, because she lived a saintly life when she was here. And she inspired me a lot with her life of prayer and life of charity. And just to tell you something little which touched me mostly from her, because this is where also my vocation comes in. This lady here went only up to the 3rd level. She spent only 3 years in school, only 3 years. But I wonder, the education by that time that's so good that she knew how to read. She could read, and of course she couldn't express herself in English, but she could read and write. So she went to the convent when she was still a young lady, and she was told that she didn't have enough education that could allow her to be in the convent. But then the sisters told her, look, young lady, don't mind. One day, your daughter or your son or somebody in your family will serve the Lord as a nun or as a priest. So she used to share that one with us at home, especially during our evening prayers. What happened is that her firstborn, that's my aunt, she is called Pauline Anyango. Now she's dead, a lovely sister also. When she was born, she just grew up as a lady who loved going to church, always praying, and followed the footsteps of her parents. Now, she became a nun. And when she became a nun, she took the name of her her mother, Isabella. It was so strange, because the mom said, the mom was told that you cannot be, but maybe one of yours will be. So when she became a nun, she took over that name. Now this lady inspired me so much, given that she was a firstborn in her family, and she offered to become a nun. So this is something that is unheard of in my own culture, the Luo culture, where I come from. A firstborn should not do that, because a firstborn should be married, should marry and have children. So she went. She's among the first sisters in Kenya, in our home region in Kisumu, and that one touched many people, including myself. But where I was inspired mostly was by a Mill Hill missionary priest who came from Ireland, and he was there in the village learning our local language, and he could preach in our local language, moving around in the village, speaking Luo, which is strange, just like my English, right? So, but it was lovely to see this priest who is not from Kenya, not from Kisumu, but right there in the village, serving these poor ladies in the village, preaching to them, eating the local food and being with them. So it's right there when I was saying, what if I also do what he's doing? By that time I was still 11, so it took a lot of time, and I went to school, high school, and when I finished, I said I want to try to become a missionary, just the way the man was doing. Because my first idea was to get out of my own context from Kisumu, where I was born, and serve also another people who are not from my own place. So that was what I felt from the very beginning, and I applied to the Consolata missionaries, and I was accepted as one of them, and I began my training in Uganda and in Kenya and in Rome, and that's it until that day that I decided that maybe it's better for me to establish myself in a particular setting, in a parish, and serve there peacefully with the Christians. Yeah.
Where did you learn Italian?
I learned my Italian in Italy. When I went,
you learned it there?
Yeah. When I was in Italy, when I got to Italy for the first time, I didn't understand any word in Italian. So it was so intensive, the course that we had. I got there in August, and in October 1st, I was supposed to be in the university to follow the theological courses. Oh God, it was kind of a miracle for me to get there. Oh, if I remember at times, it makes me laugh. Yeah, it was interesting. Oh God. So I learned everything there. 2 months intensive course, then 1 full year of Italian. And I had a wonderful teacher. It was well taught, and I think that I understand Italian better than English. Yeah. If I could do the interview in Italian, maybe it could be better.
If I could do it in Italian, I would.
That's the point, yeah. Yeah, because I understand more Italian than English. I did good in that, because I wrote my thesis in Italian and everything. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
And so you have a doctor,
Bachelor?
master's degree, or?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Bachelor, yes.
You have a bachelor's degree in theology?
In theology, yes.
Good.
So most probably next year, back in Mount Angel, I may work on that. Yeah.
Now, did you ever have a audience with the Pope?
Yes. So touching.
I can imagine.
The first time when I was in Rome, just the first year, I really wanted even to touch the Pope, Benedict XVI, and so I remember I was just passing along the aisles there, and I was right, very close, and I managed to touch his hands and greet him, and so I felt so good, because it's something that I was longing, actually, to at least touch him.
Yeah.
If not only seeing him, because we could hear, in Kenya, could hear about the Pope, see him on the television, on the papers, but to see him closely, it's a different feeling, I tell you that. Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to Rome in, about 4 years ago. Yeah. He went to Brazil. So he heard I was coming, so he went out of town.
Who's that?
The Pope.
Oh.
He said, oh no, Walter's coming, I'm going to Brazil, I gotta get.
No, because maybe he wanted to see you. Yeah. So
But that was the experience I had. I was just there for 3 days,
Yes.
and had a great experience.
Yeah, it's lovely to have, because as we view the Pope as the successor of Peter, so imagining being close to the successor of Peter, no, it gives a lot of encouragement also for me as a seminarian on my journey to become a priest and a servant in the Catholic Church. So I always loved it. Yeah.
Now, it's not advertised too much or talked about too much, but the Vatican is actually located on the grounds that Nero's circus used to be.
Yes.
And that's where St. Peter was executed,
Yes.
crucified upside down.
Yeah.
And it was in a pagan cemetery also right there.
Yes.
And so that's something I learned there, and it was very interesting. Like,
That's the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church has a history, and given that it's not a work of human hands, it's a divine work.
mm-hmm.
So it's lovely to have these experiences. Yeah. What I love most, of course, when you talked about Peter being crucified upside down,
Mm-hmm.
this church is called the Tre Fontane. Le Tre Fontane. That is 3 fountains in English.
Okay.
On the other side of Rome, the new part of Rome is called Eur Maliana. If you go to Rome, you just need to take Metro B, the line B, the subway. Then you go towards Laurentina. When you get out at the stage there, you take number 761. Then you have 2 stops. After those 2 stops, you get out and you'll see Tre Fontane. So that's where we have a very nice icon of Peter crucified upside down. And on one part we have how do you call those? I used to call them in Italian, Tre Colonne, dove San Paolo è stato how do you say that now? You see, I forget my Italian as well. So we have the columns. No, when they beheaded Saint Paul.
Okay.
And then his head moved 3 times. We have those kind of trunks right there in that church, and it's so nice because in every trunk you have a fountain down there. So one part you have St. Peter, and one part you have St. Paul, and I love this church. When you go there, you feel so nice. It's a different kind of environment when you get there, and for me it symbolizes a lot. Most of my times in Rome, I used to go there for my prayers and retreat.
Rome, you need to. There's so many beautiful churches. There's a church almost on every block.
Every corner.
And there's churches that have houses right next to them where you can walk through to go into the church, and you got laundry hanging out.
Yes, yeah.
There's a few churches like that.
Like the one just on Via Veneto, the Barberini one.
Okay.
Used to belong to the Barberini family. So you have the church right there, and on the other part is an apartment.
Yeah.
So it was nice. This one also shows us that Italy is a Christian country, and it has a Christian foundation. So that's a lovely thing of it.
And you just about any time of the day you can go to Mass.
You can go to Mass anytime. I used to joke around that you can go and have the first reading in one church, the second in one church, the gospel in another, then the homily in another church. Then after that you can go for the Eucharist in the next one, and the blessings in the other church. So you are free, because actually you move from one corner to another. There's always a church. It's amazing. I think that's a wonderful gift that God gave to this wonderful country. So nice, yeah. I'm very proud to have studied in that country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
It's nice.
and I met a few seminarians while I was over there.
Oh yeah.
For the Philippines and from the United States too. There were some.
Like North American College? Where was
I'm
that?
not sure what college. I met him at the Mary Major.
Oh yes.
So they were out there
Yeah.
visiting the churches like I was, the cathedrals.
Mary Major is so beautiful.
And that's also, I can't remember his name, the cardinal that was cardinal of Boston area.
Who's that?
I believe that's his basilica now, as Mary Major, because
No,
each cardinal has its own.
of course, has a kind of a church. Yeah. No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either right now.
Yeah.
But
One thing is sure is clear that he's there. Yeah.
now that I mentioned cardinals, somebody asked me the other day, how many cardinals are there?
Oh God. We have so many cardinals.
Are there?
There are many, yeah. I don't know how many there are, but what I know is that there are many. When I used to go to Urbaniana for my daily lessons, at times you could see the cardinals walking around there, no? So it's lovely. Many cardinals are right there, staying just within the Vatican, okay, square, Vatican, how do you call that? Where we have the Vatican.
The city.
Yeah, within the Vatican City itself. We have very many cardinals inside.
Yeah, which is its own country.
It's a state on its own.
A state.
So it's a state within a state.
Yeah.
Vatican in Italy, state within a state. Yeah, there is everything there. You have the railway line, you have an airport, you have a gas station, you have shops.
Yeah.
You have everything inside, and a wonderful garden. Yeah.
And you got a good post office too.
Yes, even a post office is there. That's almost outside, but within, it's a wonderful complex. It's just a country in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is there.
And you have people that, lay people that live there also.
You have also lay people inside. You have sisters. I never imagined that we have lay people and even sisters who are living inside until when I went to visit inside there. Yeah, when we had a tour inside. Oh God, nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went going to the Museum of the Vatican and the tall ceilings and
Yeah.
the big doorways.
Yeah. Oh.
It was an experience I'll never forget. I plan to go back again sometime.
If you plan, please take me with you.
Okay, I will. You be the tour guide.
Take me with you there, because Italy is a place that you visit once and you always long to visit it again, because it's a lovely country, not only because of the churches, but also, as you know, si mangia bene in Italia, they say. You eat good food. They are good cooks, lovely people, welcoming and very social. You get to Italy and you smile. That's what they used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I learned that you got plain water and sizzling water.
Yes.
Or gas water, or gas.
Gas.
I think they call it.
The acqua frizzante must be the gas water.
That's what he said. You want it with gas or without?
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When we ate at one of the restaurants there, and like you say, it was fantastic food.
Did you eat somewhere close to Termini?
Yeah.
Yes, there you have wonderful dishes right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, those some places that are a little bit expensive, but
Hey, you only live once.
what is important is that you enjoy your food at least for one night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can enjoy your meals over there in Italy. Yeah.
And have you gone back home since then to Kenya?
Yes, I went back home in 2009. That was in June, just after finishing my theology in Rome. So I just went home for 2 months holidays to be with my parents home, and it was a wonderful experience because I found my brothers and sisters all grown up, some taller than me and some bigger than me. Yeah.
And what would you say to a young man or a young woman that wants to go into religious life, or a young man that wants to become a priest or religious life as a brother? What kind of advice would you give them? What do they do?
What they do in the religious life?
What do they do as, to say, yeah, this is what God wants me to do? How do they?
You see, I would like to give this quotation that John Paul II gave when he was being installed as the Pope. He was saying in Italian, solo Cristo sa ciò che è nel cuore dell'uomo. Solo Lui sa. Aprite le vostre porte a Cristo. Anzi, spalancate le vostre porte. That means in English, it's only Jesus Christ who knows what is in the heart of man. And so he was saying, I plead with you, I implore you, please, 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 open your hearts, open wide your hearts to the Lord. Why do I say that? This inspires me always every day in my journey to priesthood, because a young man has to listen deep to his or to her own heart, which is difficult these days with all noise in quotes that we have around. But my plea to the youth or to any young person is to take time in silence, in meditation, in reflection, and listen to his or her own heart, what he wants to be, because it is right in the heart that Jesus Christ talks to us every day, and he knows us. I say that one because I believe it. I believe that when you are in silence and say somewhere and think and let yourself be guided by the Holy Spirit, you will feel the right thing to do. That's normal even in our daily life, no? When you wake up, you have a lot of plans, you want to do this, you want to do that. At times when you sit down and say, a moment, what do I want to do today? When you sit and relax, you kind of recollect yourself, and from that recollection you get the truth. So in our discernment towards priesthood, towards religious life, for any vocation, even marriage life, there's need for that silence. Even if it's half an hour, a young person needs silence on his own, on her own, to see what is it that I want to be, what is it that I'm called to be in this world. And once he has that, I always advise the youth to read John 13, that our life is a life of service. Jesus Christ, who came into this world, though he was God, he came to serve. That's why he put off all his vestments on that day and went to wash the feet. So this is it. So if any young person wants to become a priest, he has to know that it's a sacrifice and it's a service. And in that service is our joy. We look at John Paul II, we see a man who has served until death. But in that service is the joy. Look at Blessed Mother Teresa, who has served until the last days of her life. In that suffering, in that service is her joy, and it's the joy of everybody who is a Christian, and even non-Christians, because when you are in Rome, anybody who was in Rome when John Paul II was being beatified, we saw people of all kinds, Christians, non-Christians, Jews. Everybody was there speaking different languages, but with one goal, to come and pray with this man who has been great. A Catholic, yes, but a pastor and a father to all. So this could be a very good example for the young people who aspire to be somebody in their lives, to look towards service and listen to themselves. I have a wonderful experience, if you have some time.
Yes.
Before I joined the seminary, I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted. That's back in 1999. I was a simple youth, no? Handsome by then. Now we are getting older.
I see you include me on that too.
Yeah, by that time, you know, when you're a young person, you want to become everything.
Yeah.
You want to be a pilot, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be that, you want to change the world. One thing which we forget is that we are not supposed to change the world, you're supposed to change this person here. But of course, that's youth life. We are young, and so that's it. So I wanted to become a priest, I wanted to become a lawyer, I wanted to become a teacher because I like teaching and all that. Then I took some of my time thinking again, what actually do I want? So when I went to Nairobi and I was staying with my uncle, I went to Missionaries of Charity home, and in this home we had the orphans, the HIV orphans. We had the people who are suffering from tuberculosis. You call it like that?
Tuberculosis.
Yes, TB. The lame people, lame is not the best word, the physically challenged people, the mentally challenged, and they were being taken care of in this facility that was founded by our great mother, Blessed Mother Teresa of Calcutta. So I was invited to go and give a hand because I wanted to serve. This is what I wanted. So they said, okay, Crispin, please come and give us a hand. And I tell you, it was nice. When I got there, we were around 3 youth. So they invited us to help clean, wash them every morning and dress them up. Then feed them, give them food every morning and lunch and in the evening, then wash their clothes. And their clothes, we were washing them by hand. So you can imagine washing the clothes of adults by hand, and even they also had some children of the age like 11, 12.
Okay.
Wash by hand. Of course, we used to have the gloves, no, so that we don't risk any contamination and all that. It was a wonderful experience, and after that, they requested me to teach in some of their schools in the slums there in Nairobi, in Kibera. It was a wonderful experience. I didn't enjoy so much the teaching. I enjoyed so much the serving these people, the washing them, the feeding them every day. So when the time came for me to go to the seminary, when I received the admission letter to enter the seminary, the superior told me, Crispin, why don't you remain with us? I said, yes, Father, I would have wished to remain with you and serve with the Missionaries of Charity. But given that I already applied to the Consolata missionaries, I think first come, first serve, that's where I should go. So I joined the seminary and I went to Uganda for the first time. And imagine what? I was infected by TB.
Oh, wow.
Oh God, it was not a good thing for me. The first year in the seminary, and there I was sick. I was growing thinner and thinner. Thinner than this, you can imagine. So there was no meat over there. But I didn't know what was happening with me because I was living a happy life in Nairobi. I was okay. I was eating well, living with my uncle. Everything was okay. So when I got to the seminary and I was coughing, I was feeling some kind of headache and all that, I say, what's happening with me? So the rector took me to a nearby hospital and they tested malaria. There was no malaria. After some time again, we tested typhoid. There was no typhoid. So we went for a general blood checkup to check HIV, TB and all that, and they found TB. So they asked me, Crispin, where did you get it? Then I said, where I was serving in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Then I felt, yes, this is what I wanted. Because when you want to serve the people of God, you don't only go there to rejoice, but also to participate in their life. So suffering is part of our life, suffering is part of participating in the life of the people we want to serve. So we can only say we want to serve, but not ready to suffer. Because Jesus Christ himself, for him to serve us, for him to save us, he had to be rejected, he had to die, but he resurrected. So this is also something which encouraged me when I was in this first year of seminary. I was sick, and the treatment, I had to take 8 drugs every day. Oh God, red ones, very long. Every day for 8 months. No?
Wow.
That was how it was treated there in that place there, in the hospital at Rubaga in Kampala. But then sometimes I used to have doubt, but Lord, is this what you want me to do? If you know very well that I left my uncle, because my uncle was a very good rich man, young rich man with a very wonderful workshop in Nairobi, businessman. I left that. I wanted to serve you. I didn't want to do this. Why all this sickness? Why should I suffer now when I'm just in my first year of the seminary? I want to become a priest. Why this suffering? Then every day the rector used to remind me, Crispin, remember that suffering is part of God's communication to us. You have to be strong every day and be patient. if that's what you want to do. So after 8 months, I was healed and everything was okay, and I went on with the seminary life in Nairobi, and here I am, always feeling and convinced that a life of a priest must be a life of service, a life of sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's what I believe, and that's it.
That's a good
And
story.
I hope I will serve. Even in Rome, that's what I did when I was changing from the missionary life. I went to do some voluntary work
Uh-huh.
with Comunità Emmanuel, which is founded by Father Mario. Is a Jesuit priest doing a wonderful job with these drug addicts.
Okay.
So it's a home of the drug addicts, trying to help them come out of the addiction, come back to normal life. And that was just another wonderful experience. And I said, yes, theology is very important for me, but it's important to work with these people who are separated from their families just because of drugs, just because I say by mistake, they got into a life that they never wanted.
No, nobody wants that.
They never wanted
Yeah.
that kind of life. So it was a wonderful experience to be with them.
Will you have the opportunity as a diocesan priest to
Yeah.
be able to serve
In the hospitals.
in a hospital or
Yes,
visiting people? And
yes.
uh,
It's
Well,
part of the program, yes.
that's good.
Yeah. But I've done enough of that. I did hospital experience in Kenya for 3 months, and I've worked with these homes.
Uh-huh.
So I have some good experience, but experience is never enough. We learn until that day that we won't talk anymore.
Yeah, you pick up something every day that makes your life that much better, or makes somebody else's life much better.
It doesn't help people, it helps me. Because when you serve, it helps you. So whenever I serve the people, whenever I preach to people, I say, my preaching to you is not for you, it's for me. So that the words which come out of my mouth should help me become a better person,
Mhm.
just the way Father John was saying today at Mass. Yeah. So that's what I pray for.
But people get something out of that from you learning.
Yes.
They do receive some good experience from that.
Yes.
You know, they receive a ward also. You receive the ward of being able to help them
Yeah.
and learning something new
Yeah.
for you to make you stronger.
Yeah.
But you also make them stronger from the words that you're able to give them.
Yes, that's why it is always said that our Christian faith is not a matter of one preaching to another person. It's an issue of sharing. You share your faith, you share your life experience. So even me as a seminarian, what I do is to share my faith with the Christians at St. Henry and with the friends that I meet every day. For me, is daily sharing of my life experience of faith with everybody I meet. And when I share with them, I also get some information from them that help me in my life.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking before the show, and I said I was going to let you say it. What is your birth-given name? Your name?
My name is Crispin.
Well, I mean, besides, you said you have...
Okay, my Christian name is Crispin, and I will explain all of them.
Okay.
Crispin is a saint in the 3rd century. He's called San Crispino. And this is a patron of shoemakers because he came from a very noble family. And despite being rich and being noble, he gave his time serving the poor people on the road who didn't have the shoes, and we could call them the homeless today, mending their shoes.
Uh-huh.
And he gave what he was having to them and was trying to mend them so that they could fit these people right there that didn't have shoes when it was all that cold. So this is a patron of the shoemakers. That's
Okay.
Crispin. Somebody also says that Crispin means somebody who's inspired. I'm not all that much inspired, but Yeah, so that's the point. Okay, but I believe in the first one, that is the patron of the shoemakers. My second name is Onyango, and Onyango in Luo culture means somebody who was born just in the morning hours. That is before midday, but also before 8. So after 8, but before midday. So that time when we have that warm sun, we call it Nyango in Luo, and hence my name is Onyango because I'm a man. O is man, Onyango, born in that period of time, that morning time. If I were to be a lady, I would be A Nyango. Then my last name, which is my dad's name, is Otieno, O because he's a man, Tieno because he was born at night. So that's a lovely thing. So I use Crispin Otieno as any man should do and any lady should do in my culture, Luo culture. You have your first name, the baptism name, which is Crispin, and the last name always is your dad's name. And so I'm Crispin Otieno, and O remains there, kind of obscure.
So you were born between 8 and 12?
I was born between 8 and 12. That one is a good reminder for me. Even if there's no record, I know I was born at that time. Yeah.
That was in closing moments. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I don't know what I can say. What I may say is that I'm right now being at St. Henry here in Gresham is a wonderful opportunity for me to learn from the people of Gresham, learn from this county, Multnomah, and learn from this state, Oregon, because I believe that every day of our life we are learning, and each one of us is a treasure. I learn from you, you learn from me, but only if we humble ourselves to learn. So as Father always keeps on saying that I keep on getting lost in Gresham.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but now that you have.
Okay, we can cover it up. No, the point is that, you see, even by getting lost every day, we learn the way. No?
Yes.
In Swahili, you know what they say? They say, kuteleza sio kuanguka, means to stumble or to lose balance a little bit is not falling down. So this is meant to help, to encourage us every day that even if you make one mistake today or every second, what is important is not that mistake that you make, but that you raise up your head and walk. So I'm very happy to be in Gresham. I'm very happy to be at St. Henry. And I do believe that it will be a wonderful experience for me to learn more about the American Catholicism, to learn more about the parish life in the United States, to learn more about diocesan life, especially in this wonderful Archdiocese of Portland, with a wonderful climate, because every morning that I wake up, I breathe fresh air and oxygen, and it's so nice. So,
yes, like I say, since Crispin brought it up, every week we wait for fathers
to say something.
And so this week, where in the world is Crispin? He went to the Safeway last night, and so we kind of look for that each week now. It's like a TV show. Where in the world is Crispin?
Yeah, they keep on making that, and whenever he says where in the world is Crispin, people know that he got lost somewhere. And I said, yeah, because that was funny, because I just went to Safeway, and I was with my friend Philip from the seminary, and I knew where I was going. I really got to Safeway. I followed, do I remember where I think I took Burnside, no, Eastman Parkway, then Burnside. Okay. Then I got to Safeway. And that was, everything was safe up to Safeway. Then I got inside, of course I had to buy some stuff for my dinner. So when I got out, I don't know whether I turned right or left. I was all confused. So I told Philip, let's just drive ahead, because we'll get our way to the church. So we kept on driving, and at some time I saw Mount Hood College, and I said, wow, we are not near. So
no, not now.
Not now. But fortunately now Philip was having a GPS, and said, Crispin, now you are not guiding me anymore. So we'll trust the GPS. And he only asked me for the address. So fortunately enough, that one I remember 346 Northwest First Street, and we put it, and he brought us home. And I came to church later. I said, God forgive me, but we are here.
You're here.
Yeah.
Now, are you staying with Father?
I'm staying in the rectory.
Oh, in the rectory itself?
Yes, Father is staying in the pastor's house.
Uh-huh.
So I'm alone in the church because I need to be purified. That's what I usually say, no?
That's good.
Why did Father Zach and the staff decide to put me in the church? Because they know, Crispin, though you are good, there are some parts of you are still a sinner. We need to put you close to Jesus Christ so that he kind of helps you to be better every day. It's a lovely place to be. I like it so much. And I just like this parish, the staff that we are having. I would mention them by names, but they are wonderful people. Father Zach, a great pastor.
Father Zach, yeah, he's been there for almost 2 years.
Yes.
Oh, he's been there for 2 years.
2 years, yes.
Connie, who we've had on this show.
Connie is a great lady there. I always told her that if the Catholic Church were to ordain priests, you could have become one.
Yes.
But, okay, what is important in the Catholic Church is not whether you were a priest or not, but how much you serve as a Christian, as I was repeating. And what Connie is doing in that parish, I listen to her and I say, wow, this is a gift of God for us. Yeah, she does wonderful presentation of our faith to those who are coming in the Catholic Church, and that's so nice. And not only her, even Mary Spring, what she does with the sick,
with the homeless, not the homeless,
the sick, the ones who are at home. Yeah, the ones who are sick at home. But even as you enter there, at the entrance, you meet Terry Heisman, who is always smiling. I always tell her, your smile consoles me every day. If I wake up kind of dizzy, and I see her smile, I watch her smile, and I say, Terry, you made my day. And these are great people. And on your right, you have John, we call our bean counter, doing a wonderful job. So Dave, with the youth, Tim, I don't know, Jean over there with faith formation, and Sarah with the liturgy. We have a wonderful staff. And I pray for them, and I wish that they keep on the same spirit that they're having, because if we see St. Henry to be that which it is right now, it's because the Holy Spirit is working in that church, but is working through these wonderful members of our staff.
Yeah. So you don't have to be a priest or religious to serve God.
You don't need to be a priest.
The lay people can serve as many ways, especially at the Vatican II. They've opened the door for a lot of lay people.
Yes.
They also brought the permanent deacon back after Vatican II.
I believe the church is actually, that's not part of our topic, but we can just say the church is really open, as opposed to what people think. I hear around, even when I was in Rome, people think that the church is too closed, has closed the door to women, has closed the door to the lay people. I don't think so, because I'm there, and I do believe that anybody who is within the Catholic Church and understands the theology well and is inside will know that the church is a church of communion. You come to St. Henry, you see me there close to Father, but I'm seated, and we have all these wonderful young ladies, young Christians coming in to serve the Holy Communion. This is a wonderful church. This is the Catholic Church, a communion. Everybody's there. The young, the senior, everybody's there serving the Holy Communion and doing different services all over. Yeah. So that's the church, Even our servers, you see we have young ladies, young boys over there. Everybody inside. And on the other corner there, you will see John. I don't know, I don't remember his last name. John always comes in, leading the prayers for the sick and for the departed brothers and sisters. So this is a community. St. Henry is where we can see a copy of what the Vatican II Council talks about, communion, where everybody is there to serve. And the first one is the pastor, the seminarians, everybody is at service. Yeah.
I just did a paper because I'm going to school too, with
Yeah.
for ministry, and I wrote it's like the Three Musketeers,
Yes.
one for all and all for one.
Yes. One for all.
One God for all and all for one God.
Yes.
And, we can all join together.
Yeah.
And hence the Catholic name, the Universal Church.
Universal Church. You're right. You are very informed about all these things. You're so informed. I'm
Well,
impressed. Yeah.
I've got good teachers.
Yeah. That's good. I'm so impressed. So that's that's it.
Well, Crispin, I want to
Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, before we leave, could you say a prayer in your home language?
Like Our Father, which is a very universal prayer.
In your home
We have-
language, Kenya?
We have many. I can say it in Luo. I can say it in Swahili. I can say it in English. Which one do you prefer, Luo or Swahili?
Swahili.
Swahili. Okay. Baba yetu uliye mbinguni, jina lako litukuzwe, utakalo lifanyike duniani kama mbinguni. Utupe leo mkate wetu wa kila siku, na utusamehe makosa yetu kama tunavyowasamehe na sisi waliotukosea, na usitutie katika kishawishi, walakini utuopoe maovuni. Amina.
Amen.
Kwa jina la Baba, la Mwana na la Roho Mtakatifu. Amina.
Amen. Thank you. That was great.
Okay.
And so on behalf of the staff here at Metro East, my crew, I'm Walt Rollo, reminding you that they say our youth are our future. Well, I say they're our present. And if we don't take care of them now, what kind of future will we have? Thank you for watching, and God love you.